What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I do in-depth reviews on cars, trucks, and SUVs, so if that's your thing, consider subscribing. Today we've got something exciting lined up. We're checking out the new 2020 Mazda CX-3. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, didn't you already review the CX-30 for 2020? And you're right, I did, but there's still the CX-3 which I haven't covered yet, and I always like to check for any updates or differences between models. There are actually quite a few changes for the 2020 model year, and I'm going to walk you through all of them. Mazda is known for its legendary handling, elegant design, and delivering incredible value for your money. So I'm really pumped to dive into this one. Let's begin with pricing as usual. The Touring and Grand Touring trim levels are no longer available for the 2020 CX-3, which is the first significant change in terms of pricing. You basically just have the Sport as a trim level option. For $15,600, it is available with front-wheel drive. For $21,040, it is available with all-wheel drive. This little monster is powered by a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder direct-injected engine that produces 146 pound-feet of torque at 2,800 RPM and 148 horsepower at 6,000 RPM. A 6-speed automatic transmission transfers power to either or both of the front wheels. MPG estimates for the front-wheel drive model are 29 city and 34 highway, while the all-wheel drive option is 27 city and 32 highway. Let's jump into the acceleration test. I just want to highlight the Sport Mode button, located to the left of the shifter. You probably noticed it immediately downshifted for me, and now the RPMs are holding at a higher level. What this does is give you more immediate acceleration on demand and adjust the shift points to keep the engine in its power band. Now, there aren't any paddle shifters on the CX-3, but if you want to manually shift, you just slide the shifter to the left. That said, 99% of the time, there's really no need to shift manually. The automatic does the job well enough. Alright, coming up to my straightaway now, we'll come to a complete stop. And here we go. It's not the quickest thing in the world, but it's fine. Remember, this is more of a commuter car. It's got enough power to merge onto the highway without much trouble. That Sport Mode is definitely helping us accelerate a little quicker, but you're not going to win any drag races with this one. That's sometimes the trade-off for Mazda's legendary reliability. It's an SUV that's built to last, and while it's not the fastest car, it's going to serve you well for years. Of course, acceleration is only part of the equation, braking is just as important. Interestingly, the braking setup changes depending on whether you go with front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. The front-wheel drive model gets 11.02-inch ventilated front discs, while the all-wheel drive version bumps those up to 11.6 inches. In the back, both versions come with 11.6-inch solid rear discs. In my test drive, the braking feel has been really solid. No pedal delay, nice and responsive. So that's a big plus. All in all, the braking system is exactly what you'd expect from Mazda, consistent and reliable. Let's talk suspension and handling. Up front, you're getting a McPherson strut suspension with a stabilizer bar, and in the back, there's a torsion beam setup. So far, the ride quality has been pretty impressive. I've gone over some rough terrain, and the CX-3 has handled it like a champ. As expected from Mazda, the steering feel is solid. It's not as tight as you'd get in a sports car, but for an SUV in this segment, it's more than adequate. It makes you feel in control and confident in most driving situations. Cabin noise is minimal, which is always a bonus, especially for long drives. Mazda did a great job keeping things quiet in here. Visibility is excellent too, no issue seeing out the back or sides. And Mazda didn't stop there. They've added a lot of convenience features like rain-sensing windshield wipers that automatically activate when they detect rain. It's those little details that make a big difference in everyday driving. Alright, that wraps up the performance segment of this review. Now let's take a closer look at the exterior of the 2020 Mazda CX-3. The 2020 Mazda CX-3 still looking sharp. Starting up front, you've got LED headlights with auto leveling. That's a feature you usually find on upper trims of other brands, but Mazda includes it as standard on their sport trim. Really impressive. They also come with an adaptive front lighting system, meaning the headlights swivel when you turn the steering wheel, helping to illuminate the road as you go around corners. It's a great safety feature. Mazda's design language really shines through with this one, combining elegance and function. You've got matte black side skirts and fenders, which provide a rugged contrast to the body color. And check out these 16-inch aluminum alloy wheels with a double 5-spoke design. Pretty stylish for the size. They really enhance the overall look. Now, at the back, we've got a few standout features. There's a body-colored shark fin antenna and a rear spoiler with an integrated brake light, which gives it a sporty touch. And here's something you don't often see on a 4-cylinder vehicle: dual exhaust outlets with bright tips. It gives the CX-3 a bit more of an aggressive stance, and I'm all for it. Alright, let's talk about cargo space. The manual liftgate opens up to reveal 17.8 cubic feet of cargo space. It's not the largest in its class, but it should be enough for groceries, weekend trips, and daily errands. If you need more space, the 60-40 split rear seats fold down, giving you up to 42.7 cubic feet. Again, not class-leading, but Mazda tends to focus more on driving dynamics than sheer cargo volume. While the space might be a bit tighter compared to some rivals, you're getting that classic Mazda balance of style, performance, and practicality. Alright, moving inside to the rear, legroom comes in at 35 inches. I've got enough space back here, it's comfortable enough for shorter trips, though taller passengers might find it a bit snug for longer drives. Rear passengers also get a center armrest with cup holders, which adds a bit of convenience for longer rides. Up front, the cloth seats are manually adjustable. While they're basic, they're comfortable for daily driving. Nothing fancy, but they get the job done. The steering wheel is tilt and telescoping, giving you flexibility to find your ideal driving position. And while it's wrapped in urethane, it still feels solid in your hands. For startup, Mazda includes a push-button start, which is a great feature at this price point. It just makes everything feel a bit more premium. The gauges are straightforward with a clear digital speed readout in the center. Simple but effective, nothing overwhelming. Mazda also gives you a heads-up display, which is a nice touch. It's not projected onto the windshield like in higher-end models. Instead, you get this small plastic screen that pops up. While it's not as advanced as the windshield version, it's still functional and keeps your eyes on the road. Overall, the interior is simple but functional. Mazda does offer a few optional upgrades if you're looking for a bit more, like a frameless auto-dimming rear-view mirror and illuminated door sills. It's not a luxury interior by any means, but for the price and class, it strikes a nice balance between practicality and comfort.